In this video, we'll be discussing what is blocking oscillator and how does it function. So before we go into the actual discussion or the working of a blocking oscillator, so why the blocking oscillator is utilized or what is the need for blocking oscillator we'll discuss in short. So, in general, an oscillator is a circuit that helps us or that helps in providing an alternating voltage without any input applied. Okay, so an oscillator needs an amplifier and a feedback from the output. So, whatever the output that we get as an feedback, that will be utilized to amplify the signal. So, this is an oscillator. So, the feedback that is being provided should be a regenerative one, which will be greatly useful for giving us an input signal. Okay, so the feedback whatever we provide should be an regenerative one along with the portion of some output signal that can be used as and that can be also fed as an input which is in phase with the input signal. So this is an uh, basic understanding of an oscillator. So this blocking oscillator concept or circuits which is being usually employed when there is a need for very short pulses. Okay, so this blocking oscillator helps us, or blocking oscillator is used in a circuit when we are in need of very short pulses of signal that is to be generated. The output of this blocking oscillator is very sharp and the narrow pulse of relative very large power. Okay, so the output will be very short and signal, and the pulse will be very relatively very large actually. Okay, so if you talk on the classification of this blocking oscillator, there can be of two types. One is a monostable blocking oscillator and other is an unstable blocking oscillator. So the relative windings of this oscillator or the polarities are properly chosen, so then the feedback will be regenerative. So the prime constraint is that like the output should be the feedback should be a regenerative one. So in that case, to have this regenerative one, it is our responsibility to select the proper winding and also the polarity. So in that case, we'll be able to get a regenerative feedback. And in that cases, if a circuit is made by considering all that thing, so the such circuits are known as blocking oscillator circuits. Okay, so if you consider the construction of a blocking oscillator, so in the construction part, a transistor is used as an amplifier and the transformer is used for an regenerative feedback. Okay, so the transformer whatever we use and their symbol are represented in the below figure. Whatever the transformer we use here is a pulse transformer. Okay, so the regenerative feedback is made from the pulse transformer, and the output can be fed back to the input in the same phase by properly choosing the winding polarity as mentioned earlier. So the polarity has a greater significant role on giving us the regenerative feedback. Okay, so blocking oscillator is such a free running oscillator made using a capacitor and a pulse transformer along with a single transistor. As mentioned, the transistor helps us in amplifying the signal. So using a blocking oscillator, the operations like a stable and monostable operations are possible, but the bistable operation is not applicable to this blocking oscillator. Before the next video, we'll be seeing in detail about this monostable and blocking oscillator with the base timing and emitter timing. But before that, we'll brief what is stable and monostable. So stable is the one in which the circuit is not stable, whereas it continuously switches from one state to other state. Whereas monostable is the one where it remains stable in a state and in other state it remains unstable. So the such transition is not allowed in case of monostable. So this is all about blocking oscillator and its type. And next video we'll be discussing in detail about this base timing and emitter timing of monostable blocking oscillator. Thank you.